What's up everyone, I am Trebus with SC2 Noob School, and today I have something a little different for you guys. Today is my top 3 practice maps. If you're trying to practice, really the best thing you can do is drill down to one specific thing and just focus on that, and these maps are going to help you do that. First one up we have is called Darkline's Micro Trainer. You can find it on battle.net. If you look at this list, you can see this giant list of all these little micro scenarios you can be in. There's a huge list for each race, and it can be everything from Blink Stalkers to all kinds of different stuff. Right now you're seeing Blink Stalkers, and if you look in the top left, there's a nice little menu system that lets you make it harder or easier depending on where you're at, and you can adjust the difficulty on the go and see how high you can get in the difficulty. There's some kind of little, niche stuff like force fielding ramps. You get a set of sentries and you just have to force field ramps against banelings. Nothing too complex. And then it goes all the way up to giant battles, multiple abilities, lots of different units. You can practice your target firing using specific abilities, and you can just drill these over and over and watch yourself get better at them. Terran has probably some of my favorite of these different scenarios. There's things like stutter stepping with your Marines against some normal regular Zerglings. There's stuff like stutter stepping against banelings and having to target fire down the banelings. And this one's probably one of my favorite ones, just because it's really, if you get your target fires off perfectly, then you're going to do great. If you miss any of your target fires, then you're pretty much going to lose for that round. So it's really high risk, high reward kind of thing, and I really find it very, very valuable to actually drill through these things, and you'll certainly notice yourself improving at everything that you practice on. Of course, it has a baneling splitting kind of module, I guess. You've probably seen this before in other maps, but still, it's there for you if you want it. And then there's the larger scale of scenarios where you have to use multiple different techniques. You're target firing your tanks onto banelings, you're splitting your Marines, you're taking out the mutas, all these kinds of things that you can just combine into one scenario, drill it over and over again, and just watch yourself improve and get better at it really quickly. The Zerg scenarios, I honestly find it would be a little bit less inspired than for Terran or Protoss, but you can do things like, if you don't know how to magic box, you can learn how to magic box inside of this map. There's some, places where you can practice your fungal growths and using banelings and things like that. And of course there's once again, the larger scale battles where you have lots of different abilities, lots of different units, and it allows you to practice controlling scenarios that may only happen, once per game or once every 2 games or something. You can actually control a big army and get used to everything that's involved in doing that. Second map I've got for you is called Build Order Test Zone. This is a map that people like Noni like to use a lot for practice, where you can just go in and practice a specific build over and over again. You can just restart your map whenever you want. You see me here, I'm practicing my 4-gate, making sure I've got everything down perfectly, and of course there's an expansion here so you can practice any kind of 2-base plays that you want to do as well. And I think it's really valuable to go in here and really, if you want to copy someone else's build, practice it in a map like this. And this will feed into my next recommended map. It is the Multitasking Trainer. And this is a really, really good map for practicing your multitasking. Basically what it's going to do is it's going to force you to use your hotkeys to be able to do things out in a battle or in a micro situation and macro back at your base at the same time. There's different difficulties, and they'll have different objectives. For the most part, you're just moving this little probe around. You can't let your probe die while you're doing the rest of your build, and depending on the difficulty there will be different little objectives you have to do. There will be attacks that come in that you have to defend. Harder difficulties, you'll have drops that come into your mineral line, and there's even things where you have to pick up this High Templar here and go drop him off at a certain spot, and it really just stretches your multitasking abilities. And then eventually at the very end, the goal is, within the time limit, you have to go in and destroy the enemy's nexus. They've got siege tanks and a bunch of units, and yeah, it's just a really, really great map for practicing your multitasking. If you can do multitasking in this map, then you're going to be able to do a lot more on the ladder than you could previously. So I highly recommend practicing a build in the build order tester, and then trying to execute it with this kind of multitasking requirement. Anyways, this has been my top 3 practice maps. As always, if you would please thumbs up and subscribe and share and all that good stuff, that really helps me a lot. Thank you for watching. GG!